Hello students, multiple choice review number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed your long vacation, but back at it. We got about 2 weeks to the state test, so here we go. Which expression is equivalent to the following? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine our like terms. So we're going to combine 4.8 with 2.4, which will be 7.2, and then 2.2w minus 1.4w would be 0.8w. Actually, it's 7.2. All right, so then if you start looking at your choices, you can see none of them match. All right, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to undistribute something that you could take out of both of them. So what you can take out of this is think of this as 72 plus 8w. You could divide an 8 out of both of them. So actually, we'll divide a 0.8 out. And just by dividing 0.8 out alone, that kind of gives you what the answer is. The other way to do this is to actually distribute each one of these until you get the one that matches. So like this would be 2.4 plus 0.8w, okay, which is not going to be this. So that's kind of how you work through that problem. Number 2, store owner made a list. Which number is closest to the probability of the next customer buy with a bank card? Well, bank card, blank card, not a bank card. 56 out of, and I have my answer key here. Oops, I don't remember what this number is, so it's 285 plus 167 plus 56 out of 508. All right. And then we can just do the division. You can take 56 divided by 508. And we get 11.02. So this would be 0.11. All right. Number 3, 45 cents per pound. Okay, well, P stands for pounds, so this would have to be A. Okay, it's actually a pretty easy one. It's 45 cents per pound. All right, number 4. Store purchase DVD. What was the total cost of the value of DVD? So we're going to mark it up 50% off of $12. So 50% of 12 is 6. So then you got to add the 6 in. So that means that the price after the markup would then be 18. Now you're going to do the tax on that. 7% of 18, which is 126, and then you add that on, so the answer is D. Right, 2 parts to that. All right, number 5. Which statement is best supported by the results? The preferred mascot is tiger. Well, when you look at grades 5 and grade 6, yeah, the preferred mascot is a tiger. But as you go through 7 through 8, so you can't say that that's the... Same thing with the preferred mascot is an eagle, because it's not preferred across all grade levels. Right? 5th and 6th grade students prefer eagle mascot. No, they prefer the tiger. So the answer is D. All right, so that's really just an interpretation problem. Number 6. What was the temperature at midnight? It was at 11.4 degrees. So I like the diagram, 11.4. Here's 0. It's going to drop 15.7, which means it's going to be negative. Okay, so then I would know that I have to take 15.7 and subtract 11.4. Take the difference between the two. The answer is A. Okay, diagrams really do help out in this case. All right, number 7. All right, which histogram represents the data in the table? So really you're just looking, we didn't really do much with these, but this is something from last year. Actually, that 6 there means it's a 6th grade standard. But that's anything that's before 7th grade is free game on this this test. So, all right, we need 0 to 4 to be 5. The answer to this is B. 5 to 9 is 10. 3 and 7. All right, some of these problems moving pretty quick. Number 8, altitude. Which situation is a hiker in Death Valley stopping at an altitude of 0 feet? Hiker starts at negative 10 feet and then increases altitude by 10 feet. If I draw a picture of this, yeah, I do like pictures. So if you start at negative 10 and you go up 10, okay, your answer is going to be A. It'll end at 0. Number 9, based on the data, what's the probability the next cereal box will be a blue or yellow? Blue, the word or in probability means add. So a blue one is 15, a yellow one is 5, so that's 20 out of the 50 total cereal boxes. Okay, and then we just reduce, and You can take the zeros off. The answer is B. Okay. So this is a pretty quick one. Number 10. The 3 steps shown below were used to find an expression equivalent to this. Which expression can be used in step 1? Well, the first thing you could probably do is you can distribute. All right, so if we think about that, what's going to happen is we have to distribute this to both. So we have to take 2/5 times 15 over 1, and then we put the x with it, and then we have to take 2/5 times 30, and then the y. So the answer to this is going to be B. 2/5 of 15 would be 6. All right. 11. Which point represents a unit rate? The unit rate is per one person. Okay, so when you look at the x and the y coordinates, when x is equal to 1, the y coordinate, when x is equal to 1, the y coordinate is equal to the unit rate. So we go to where x is equal to 1, so 1/15. These is per one person. And that'll always be the case. Alrighty. Number 12. A lot of different ways you can handle this. Orders of operations. First thing we do is we have to do the operations that are inside of parentheses. So, and then you got a fraction and you got a decimal. So whether you want to work with fractions, but see how the answer's in decimal form, and this would be no calculator, by the way. So you're going to have to be able to do a problem like this without a calculator. So I'm going to convert 7/10 to a decimal. That's not too bad. It's just negative 0.7 plus 0.15. Think of this as money. If I borrow 70 cents from you, but I only pay you back 15, I still owe you 55 cents. Then we're going to divide that by negative 0.125. Right? Talk about getting the sign first. If you take a negative and you divide it by negative, the answer is going to be a positive. So that's going to eliminate 2 choices right there. So now if you need to guess, guessing between 2, way better than guessing out of 4. All right, so now we actually got to do this divide. So we're going to forget about the negative, so I'm going to go off the side here. So it's 0.55. I'm going to divide it by 0.125. Here's the other thing that's interesting about decimals. Move the decimal point 3 places here, move it 3 places there, which means I'm going to put a 0 there. So now we need to figure out how many times will 125 go into 550. Well, you know, I get 125, 250, 375, 500, so 4 times. Okay. So now, actually, what's nice about this is just knowing that this is 4, I don't have to do any more work. There's the answer. Okay. And then number 13, finishing it off. Recipe, 1/3 cup of milk for 1/4 cup of water. How many cups of water for 1 cup of milk? So this is another one where I really like a table. Okay, 1/3 of a cup equals 1/4. 2/3 of a cup would equal 2/4. 3/3 of a cup would equal 3/4. So the answer is B, 3/4. I really like this method. Otherwise, you'd have to take, cups of water. You'd have to take 1/4 and divide it by 1/3, and then remember to keep change flip. All right. So this would be the conclusion of multiple choice review number 4, and this is Mr. Sims signing off.